Hey friends, what's up? Welcome or welcome back to the channel. I was supposed to be doing an unboxing video this week, and I'm so sorry that I do not have it for you because I had my 2 shipments for the 2 Google devices that I purchased get delayed, so they're not here in time for me to do this video. And I waited to the very last second to record this video because I was waiting for those devices to get in. So unfortunately that's gonna have to happen next week, so stay tuned. But in today's video, as sort of like a backup, I'm just gonna be sitting down and chatting with you about some updates, and I do have a big question for you in today's video. So I hope you stick around, get cozy, get beverage, get a snack, whatever it may be. You can put me in the background because I'm just gonna be chatting in front of the camera, and you do not have to look at me the entire time. But yeah, we're gonna get right into it, and I hope you enjoy. Okay, so like I said, there's a big question that I have for you in today's video, so stay tuned for that. I'm gonna start this conversation off by chatting a little bit about Riley, because on my Instagram, everybody has been absolutely obsessed with Riley. Like, I feel like my account is now a Riley account. And if you have not tuned into my Instagram, Riley is the stray cat that I took in a few weeks ago, maybe a month at this point. You know, she's been part of the family, but she has also been going through a lot of stuff. So I figured I would just like fill in everybody on what those things are exactly, because it's a lot. And it has been taking a huge toll on me, not just like mentally because it's stressful dealing with a sick kitty, but also physically because like it's a lot of running to the vet, running to the emergency room, getting exhausted in between, and what have you. So I actually have, because she has so many issues, or she had so many issues, I wrote a list. I wrote a Google Keep list. You know I love my Google Keep. I wrote a Google Keep list called Riley Notes, where I kept track of all of the things that was going on with her. So when we first brought Riley in from outside, because she was a stray cat, by the way, she is a kitten. I believe she's like 9 months or so. She's in the background. But she had babies when she was maybe like 4 or 5 months old. So she has already gone through motherhood, and she is still a kitten even after all of that. So there was that, just from the get-go. But when we brought her in, she had worms and she had fleas, and she had a pretty bad case of both. So we had to get that all cleared out, and because she had fleas, because she had worms, we had to keep her separated from Logan, which is the cat that you all know and love and has been part of the channel for many years, since the beginning of it. So they couldn't be near each other, because obviously I don't want my cat Logan to get sick as well or get fleas. So there was a whole quarantining situation, which I could have never done if I was living in an apartment. Luckily, now that I live in a house, I was able to keep her downstairs in the basement, and so the basement was basically her whole home. Like, we set it all up for her, and that was all hers. So that ended up working out pretty successfully, not gonna lie. But aside from the fleas and the worms, which took a while to get through, I also had to get her vaccines, which is just standard for whenever you get a new kitten. So we had to do all of that. I also had to test her for feline AIDS, because that is something that can potentially shorten their lifespan. And it's not common, but if she had it, she could have definitely spread it to Logan almost immediately, and then that would have affected Logan's life. So I needed to make sure that she was tested negative for that. And sometimes if you test a cat for that condition, you have to test them a few weeks later, or maybe even 3 weeks later, to make sure that the first time that it showed up negative, it doesn't show up positive the next time, if that makes sense. So we had to go through all of that. Luckily she is negative, so she was good to go to come upstairs and be around Logan, because otherwise we wouldn't have been able to keep her. The next thing that she had, of course we had to spay her, because of course she got pregnant. I didn't want her to get pregnant again, and it's also just better for their quality of life. So we had to spay her. In that period where she was getting through all of this other stuff before we could spay her, she went into heat. So she was acting very strange, and I am not used to having a female cat go in heat around me, so I was just like, what the heck is going on? She was being extremely affectionate, but like in a weird way, and she was doing weird stuff. I don't know, but we eventually spayed her. She was also anemic from the get-go. She was not severely anemic, but she was anemic, and she was also very underweight. So I was doing my best to, you know, feed her properly, get her weight up, get her, like, you know, get all of her vitals going and in a normal state. And luckily she is no longer anemic, and she is gaining quite a bit of weight. When we first got her, she was like 5 pounds, and I think now she's a little bit over 7 pounds. So she's doing really good. I am so glad, and I will say all of these issues that I mentioned, everything has been cleared. So then after that, there was a point where after all of these things, or in the midst of all of these things, she was throwing up. And I have experience with vomiting cats. Logan vomits pretty regularly because he likes to overeat. But she was having like a 24-hour non-stop vomiting spree, and that really freaked me out because there was a moment where she started vomiting blood, and that was when things got really critical because I thought she was gonna die. I didn't think that any animal vomiting blood would ever make it. I thought she was like, she was gonna die. Luckily, we went to the emergency room and found out that she was not going to die. She's actually quite healthy, aside from that whole vomiting situation. I don't know exactly what it was. She might have gotten into something. Oh my gosh, she's like super hyper right now, but she might have gotten into something. I don't know what, or maybe she just like had a bad reaction to maybe the new food that we were giving her at that time. But it was essentially like a bug. But it was pretty severe. We had to like put her on a bunch of meds and all that good stuff, and then now she's good. It took a few weeks, but she's good from that as well. And now the latest thing, the last thing that is going on with Riley is that she has conjunctivitis, or she had conjunctivitis, which is essentially like pink eye or like an eye infection that's going on with her, and it's extremely contagious. So again, I had to quarantine her from Logan, put her back down into the basement, which was very unfortunate because at the time that she got this, we were just moving all of her stuff out of the basement and upstairs and transitioning her to living upstairs 100%. So we had to backtrack all of that, which really sucks. And of course now she has to wear a cone because she could scratch her eye and it can make it worse. But it has been a full week, and they said at a full week she should be good to go, and she seems to clearly be good to go. So I think after today that cone is coming off and she should be 100%, hopefully, fingers crossed, and she can just, you know, go back to living her good old life in the house here with Logan and the rest of us up here. So that's the situation with Riley. Like I said, a lot has been going on. I haven't mentioned the full details of all of these things on my Instagram because it's the bad stuff, and I don't want to, like, you know, say anything sad about her because it makes other people sad. But she's been through a lot, and I'm glad that she's in good spirits the entire time, as you can clearly tell. But yeah, that's a little bit about Riley. If you were interested, if you want to see more daily stuff about her and Logan and how they're getting on, because that has been a very gradual process, you can check it out on Instagram because I post about them all the time. Aside from Riley, what else did I want to talk about? Let's see. I also wanted to talk about birthdays because people reached out and asked how my birthday went. My birthday went pretty well. I also mentioned that I had my road test on my birthday. I was super confident in that video where I said that I failed. I failed the exam, and I was feeling really bad about it on my birthday. I was really beating myself up about it. But then I got like a flood of messages from friends and family and people that I know saying that, like, you know, it happens. I failed one time before, I failed 2 times before, I failed many times before. So that made me feel a lot better knowing that, like, I'm being a little bit too hard on myself for failing because it's not easy. So yeah, I failed it. But aside from that, it was also Ian's birthday this past week, and so his birthday was pretty chill. We couldn't really do much on his birthday because it rained really badly, but he was craving like a lot of junk food for his birthday dinner, so I got him a lot of junk food. I got him vegan wings in all sorts of different flavors. I got him vegan pizza. I got him chocolate cake because that was specifically the cake that he asked for. Everything was delicious. For his birthday gift, I got him a cornhole game thing, which, like, it's an outdoor game. It has like huge wooden pallets where you throw like bean bags into like a hole kind of thing, and he was asking for it for a very long time, so that's what I got him for his birthday. And it was very relaxed, chill. We played video games, I watched him play video games, and we just hung out. It was really nice. Okay, one last thing I wanted to talk about before I ask you my big question. It's not really that critical, I'm just leaving it to the end because that's how I have it in order on my Google Keep list of me recording this. But the last thing that I wanted to talk about are Halloween plans and slash Halloween podcast updates, which I don't have much updates on that. But Halloween plans, I haven't been really dedicated in making really lavish costumes these past few years, mostly because we don't have plans to go out to like Halloween parties or costume parties or bars or things like that, just given the climate of the world. I'm just like, I'm gonna make the most low maintenance costume ever since I'm just gonna stay at home anyway. And now recently, since we have this house, we just give candy out to the kids and stuff. But this year we are having a little get together. It's not a party, it's an intimate get together. Yeah, it's just with a few people, and we're gonna be doing it outside now that I have built out the outdoor seating area, which I talked about in my last chatty video. And so yeah, it's gonna be an outdoor Halloween get together. I'm so excited to just like host a thing, because I haven't hosted anything pretty big or substantial in this house since we've moved in, and we are coming on to a year and a half being at this house. So I'm just looking forward to hosting and having people over and having them see the house, but also like I like hosting. I think hosting is fun, especially if it's Halloween. So it's going to be a little Halloween soiree. I'm going to try and make it cute and decorative and stuff, but not go all out because it's not a huge party or anything like that. But those are my Halloween plans. The costume that I'm going with this year is Laurie from Halloween. Not just because the movie's coming out, that was not planned. Ian specifically wanted to be Michael Myers for Halloween, and he already got his costume, so I was like, well, what's the most relevant slash low maintenance costume that can go with that? And that's Laurie, because she just wears like some slacks and a button up. So that's essentially what I'm doing for my Halloween costume. Let me know if you have any Halloween plans or Halloween costume ideas that you already got like planned in the comments, because I love to hear about that. Big Halloween fan here. There's also going to be games. I love to do like themed foods. Like I always do these pizza skulls, so I'm probably going to do that and all of that good stuff. So those are the Halloween plans. And then in that same realm, Halloween podcast plans. Well, not Halloween podcast plans, just podcast plans, because it's a horror podcast that I'm building here, which if you missed it in my last chatty video, I talk more about it there, and I'm talking more about it on my IG subscriptions if you're interested in that. There's a whole promo video on my Instagram if you're interested. Yeah, I haven't been doing much when it comes to the podcast. That's the update. Because I know I went in full force when I first said that I was going to do this podcast, and I was already doing like channel art, and I was doing all sorts of plans. I made a whole Notion thing about it, and then I stopped. And the reason why I stopped completely for like a good 1 to 2 weeks is because, one, all of these things going on with Riley, and two, because of all of these birthday plans, anniversary plans. It just gets really busy during October, and this is why I wanted my deadline for launching this podcast to be a year long, so that I can really enjoy the process, but also when things get really busy, and I know realistically my life gets really busy during certain periods of the year, I can take those breaks and I won't feel like I need to scramble afterwards, because hey, this is not launching until next September or next August. I can take the month of October here off to not do any plans at all, and I will still have enough time to, you know, plan afterwards. So that's just the update for now, because I know people were super invested at the very beginning, and they're probably like, what the heck happened? Are you still doing this? Yes, I'm still doing it, but I'm taking a little bit of a break during October to enjoy my October. And yeah, those are all of the updates that I have. Pretty quick and straightforward, but I do want to ask a big question just pose this question to my YouTube community, and I'll probably do this on my other social media platforms as well, just because I'm curious and just because I want to be able to create the right content for you, the content that you are looking for whenever you land onto my channel. So my question to you is, what are some questions or what are some topics or issues that you're currently struggling with when it comes to slow living, productivity, or just whatever else you find relevant on my channel that you would like me to do a video on, or you would like me to do a post on? Just let me know in the comments, or if you don't feel like commenting down below, you can always find me on Instagram and TikTok, and you could just comment or message me anywhere you want, because I love chatting with you. And so that's my big question for you. I really just want to know what's going on. What's going on in your life? What are you struggling with? What can I help you with? For those who are interested in seeing my unboxing of the Google Pixel 7 Pro and the Google Pixel Watch, it's coming. They are both supposed to deliver today, which is why I couldn't get the video out today, because I'm still waiting for it to arrive. But it's gonna happen next week, so stay tuned. It'll be here soon. I appreciate you, and I will talk to you in next week's video.